Okay, thank you, Mr. President Van Braun. He's my old friend for about 20 years. So we were used to the academic life. We were restricted time, and I tried to finish within 30 minutes. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I would like to thank for the Pontifical Academy of Sciences and the Rockefeller Foundation for convening this important conference on food loss and waste reduction. I'm honored to deliver the keynote speech for this session, and 2011 FAO raised the global awareness on the problem of food loss and waste. We estimated then that about a third of food yearly produced in the world is lost and wasted. Subsequently, the issue of the food loss and waste has become of a great public concern. In 2015, world leaders committed to eradicate poverty and hunger and combat climate change, and committed to address the challenge of reducing food loss and waste. As a result, 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, it included target 12.3 to halve the global food waste at the retail and consumer levels and reduce food loss among the production and supply chains by 2030. Provide more clearing on the subject and measure progress towards SDG target. 2011 FAO estimate is replaced by two separate indicators, the food loss index and the food waste index. The food loss index prepared by FAO, provide estimate from post-harvest loss or decrease the quantity or quality of food resulting from decisions and actions by food suppliers in the chain up to, but not include the retailer stage. Index monitors develops over time in the percentage of food losses that allows to track progress against SDG target 12.3. The food waste index, for which UNEP is the custodian, will provide global estimates on the decrease in the quantity and the quality of food resulting from decisions and actions by retailers, food service providers, and the consumers. FAO is supporting countries in developing strategies and implementing actions to reduce food loss and waste. In that respect, FAO's latest edition of the State of the Food and Agriculture SOFA 2015, they printed here, so you can have a more close look and give any suggestion to improve next version. We need to know as accurately as possible how much food is lost and wasted as well and why. We need to understand, in fact, the food loss and waste on poverty, food security, and the environment. So what is the current situation? I don't want to repeat it too much here because you can read from the book we present here. The value of this loss is up to $400 billion US in money. But I always consider it's not only questions of money. It's to exemplify the early damages this causes. Fruit and vegetables lost per year cause the loss of 75 billion cubic meters of water and 912 trillion kilograms. So it's not a question of money, it's a question of close linkage with the environment. Meat and animal products lost per year means that 715 million hectares of land were used for nothing. So, and when we talk about land use and design, we should consider the food waste transformed from the food to the land, what we really lost. In terms of the greenhouse gas emission, the food loss is associated with approximately 1.5 gigatons of CO2 equivalent. We are now working on the building capacity to obtain more and better data to understand how food loss and waste occur in the food supply chain and the determinants behind them. Well, the loss reduction occurs in terms of geographic and phase in the food supply chain made of the impact of interventions. For example, interventions to boost farmers' income may focus on on-farm loss reduction, While the greenhouse gas emissions are best addressed by the focus on the consumer waste, interventions, however, can be more than one objective, may also bring side benefits. FAO's work on South and Southeast Asia with smaller holder fruit and vegetable producers are a good concrete example. It was found that for tomato, the highest level of loss occurred at the harvest and during transportation. So each commodity have a different picture of the food loss and the waste. However, to substantially address the food loss and waste, we need to reorganize it. It comes with a cost. That means the practice and technology might not be adopted if the cost overweight the benefit. So we have to analyze the PR, profit and risk analysis. And weighting costs and benefits will help make sure that the intervention is the right fit. There will be times when the incentive needed to be put in place to bring about change, reducing losses, improve the quality, safety of food, and generate greater income for farmers. There is a role for government support aimed at improving the private incentive to reduce the food loss and waste. Public interventions with the further investment in training, technology, innovation can help expand that implementation. We need to scale up the success achieved in the field project in order to impact the national food loss indicator and in turn the global indicator. Especially innovative approaches such as chilling milk with a solar cooler or biogas-powered chiller contribute significantly to maintaining food quality and reducing losses. Because last week we had a Montreal protocol in FAO also. There are a lot of ministers of environment come to how to improve the chilling system and because it's cold chain system is so important for food system. But they needed to be financed. We needed to open to new idea, new way of doing business. For example, innovative business models with the participation of the private sector are required to make available rural infrastructure and technology needed to support the training of smallholders. We also needed to learn from success achieved in other sectors, for example, hastening the use of ICT and digital innovation for upscale and improved practice, supporting training and providing technical support to accelerate the process of change. More use of private sector's best practice is needed. A hand-on example of engagement with the private sector is Save Food, a joint initiative with FAO, UNEP, and Mass Düsseldorf and Interpact. At the smallholder levels, innovative, incredible partnership, including public-private partnership, must be strengthened to develop. A good concrete example of innovative project supporting smallholder is in one financed by Switzerland and jointly implemented FAO, IFAD, and the WFP in Burkina Faso, the Democratic Republic of Congo, and Uganda. It addresses food loss in grain and parcels value chains. Not only is it important learning from experience in other sectors, there is also a need for technical exchange within and across regions through the North-South, South-South cooperation or triangle cooperation more. Wellness, raising, education are vital to tackling the problem of food loss and waste. Let's need to start at the family levels, educating our children, respect and appreciate the food is financial. In China, we have a proverb that says that a single grain of rice comes with thousands of drops of sweat. Pope Francis rightly said, increased awareness of the problem and a greater sense of social responsibility will prove an investment both short and long term. He rightly considered food loss and waste a social tragedy, can no longer to be tolerated. Better awareness of social across the world will create a new healthy and sustainable consumption pattern. FAO is played its part in its aspect as well, at the request of the member countries, if all goes according to the plan. We'll lead the observance of the International Day of Awareness of Food Loss and Waste with partners and stakeholders on 29 September 2020. So next year it's a big year, and we will celebrate the 75th anniversary of establishment of UN FAO, and we will have a big impact on that. In conclusion, I wish to summarize with 3 key messages. We cannot end hunger and all forms of malnutrition if we do not address the inefficiency, inequity in our food system that leads to the higher level of food loss and waste. Second, to be truly effective, our efforts needed to be informed by a solid scientific evidence-based understanding of the problem. Third, we need a commitment, globally scale-up action to reduce food loss and waste is significant to reach the SDGs. But that will only happen through collaboration, partnership, as well as increased public-private sector support. Therefore, is ready to work with everyone here today to promote more ambitious collective actions to address the problem of food loss and waste in the world. Thank you very much.